Oakton. Dean, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, my name's Dean. I've been running the Westman Volleyball Club now for the last 10 years here in Brandon, Manitoba.
Perfect. So thanks a lot for talking to me today. Now it's a while back now, but how did you and your club react to nationals being canceled in 2020?
I mean, it was certainly disappointing from a club perspective and for all the athletes. From a team perspective, I was coaching my daughter actually on a 13U team. We had literally just won a big tournament and we're ranked number one in Manitoba, and season came to a crashing halt, for a lot of people, and it was pretty sad.
Yeah, and then of course we had this whole pandemic, and I know that getting gym space has been tough through 2020, but you've been finding some creative ways to get your club training in a safe environment. So can you tell me a little bit about how you've done that?
Yeah, basically back in August, everyone locally here kind of learned that none of the traditional school gyms were going to be available and only private facilities. And in Brandon, there just aren't that many private facilities. So actually, my wife had this idea, why don't you kind of talk to the Keystone Center and see what opportunities might exist there? And sure enough, we looked into the Manitoba room space, and lo and behold, they had 3 sport courts. They had some old poles. We literally painted the poles to make them look presentable, and we had to buy the padding for the poles and the nets and the antennas. And then all of a sudden, come October, we had around 200 kids accessing these courts on a weekly basis. Sundays, we had ex-national team coach Mike Burchuk come out leading a couple different groups. And Tuesday, Thursday, we had 3 different age groups. And Wednesday, we had a drop-in. And yeah, it was going just awesome.
Wow. And then unfortunately, pandemic, the numbers started rising, and there's more restrictions. So you're not currently using those facilities, correct?
Yeah, when the code red for Manitoba came into place in mid-November, whatever the exact day was now, that shut down all the facilities across Manitoba. And then further to our situation, unfortunately, the province has all just recently last week decided that the Keystone Center's Manitoba room would be necessary for a COVID center in some way. So right now, indefinitely, we don't know what the status of that facility will be. It could be available in January, February. We don't know. I have found an alternative location that, should that not become available, we're still ready to play volleyball. We have 8 club volleyball teams, and I mentioned that I coach my daughter, but the reality is there's 90 families that are kind of looking to me and my coaches that to create opportunities for these kids and hoping that those opportunities will become available.
Yeah, for sure. Um, Before the call, you mentioned in an email that Volleyball Manitoba recently had a signing period where athletes chose which club they wanted to play with and signed with teams to lower numbers for large tryouts. So it's a very interesting strategy. How did that kind of process come together and look?
I mean, I think it worked really well over a 2-week period. The first week you could sign players that played for your club last year. And then the second week you could sign players from other clubs if they were available and didn't re-sign with the teams they played with last year. So literally you built your rosters over that 2-week period, but you didn't have to fill it. So we still have a few spots on each team available, which we thought we were going to have tryouts this past weekend, and then all those things got canceled, obviously. So tryouts are basically on pause till January or whatever that may be. The province actually just extended the code red till January the 8th here in Manitoba. So there won't be any volleyball played, I don't think, till February is my guess.
Yeah, it's looking that way across the nation right now, unfortunately. And then just getting back to nationals, did your club have any certain goals heading into the 2020 nationals before they were canceled?
Well, I mean, the positive thing for us, or for myself coaching anyway, was 14U Nationals are supposed to be in Winnipeg this year, or at least that was the plan. And, coaching my own daughter and being able to kind of share those experiences with her, that was something we were looking forward to as a family and not only as a club. Being here in the province of Manitoba was something that was, going to be a little more affordable for families and do close to home was really a positive event that I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So I guess for 2021, that's fingers are crossed that that can actually
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, for sure. That would be, if it's next year, it's next year.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. Well, that's great. Those are all the questions I had for you today.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time.